Hi everyone, in this week's video, what I want to tackle is a question that I often receive from my HR clients. Now, one of the things that they're always curious about is how they can make the recruitment process more aligned with diversity, equity, and inclusion practices. So I often get the question, Carolina, can you help us when it comes to this? What do you suggest? So let's first start with the job posting. What I have to say about the job posting is that make sure the job posting includes your organization's statement or your commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion, because that already signals that your organization is thinking about it from that perspective. So that's the first thing, the commitment statement. The second piece that you want to look for in terms of your job posting is making sure that the language is gender neutral and very inclusive. Sometimes we don't even recognize, again, it might be so ingrained, but we might have some language that might not be welcoming to all. And if you feel that you might not even have the eyes for that, or you might have missed something, it's always great to get another person's set of eyes on the job description, making sure that the language is, again, gender neutral and inclusive. Then when it comes time to actually looking for candidates, you'd be surprised how many times I've heard an HR person say, I've posted this position and all I got was white candidates, or they were all male white candidates. Carolina, help me. And I often say, are you going to the right places? You would be surprised how many people are not aware that there are many different job posting or recruitment sites that are geared towards underrepresented groups. I would actually just welcome you to Google that. What are the job postings that I can post that cater to underrepresented groups? And you're probably going to get a list of them. So from that perspective, you can start going out to other job boards that are not within maybe your traditional ones that you typically go to. And so there, from that perspective, you're already increasing the pool of diverse candidates. Then when it comes to the actual sifting of resumes, what I often recommend is the blind process. And what the blind process means is that it's taking away all characteristics, all identifying information that might introduce bias. So gender, race, anything that might be, unrelated to whether or not this person can perform the tasks. So that would be my next thing. Make sure that you have a blind recruitment process when it comes to the resumes. That doesn't mean that you won't get any bias at the interview process, but you want to eliminate it at the stage of the resumes and at least make sure that you can get your diverse candidates through to the initial screening phase, because then you'll already have an opportunity to see, wow, look at all the diversity that we've been able to get in terms of candidates. And then finally, the interview process, where yes, bias can be introduced. And what I usually suggest here is have more than one person interviewing the candidates if possible. And a lot of organizations have gone to panel interviews, but here what you want to be checking for is all the bias that we try to eliminate at the resume piece, but also affinity bias, which I talked about in one of my videos. In other words, sometimes we like people that are very similar to us, and when we're trying to hire for diversity of thought, we might not even recognize how affinity bias might be playing a role, in addition to, of course, all the bias that we might have towards any of the protected groups. So we want to watch out for that. So those are just some quick tips to make sure that your hiring process and recruitment process is keeping in mind these best practices.